Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? Hope everything else is well. We got a beautiful day out, and a few weeks back I was watching an interview with on Real Time with Bill Maher, who I still have a little faith in. I found him a little questionable, but I still enjoy watching him with some of his guests, even though those two I find questionable. One he recently had was Representative Dan Crenshaw from Texas, and for the most part, I might be a little fuzzy on the details. Crenshaw was pretty much speaking in defense of Trump, talking about some of his accomplishments and everything, and, saying that in spite of January 6th, it was still a peaceful transition. This was something I talked about generally in regards to tribalism, which we're seeing a lot on the Republican side. And it's not just a one-party thing. Democrats can be like this too, where for the most part, you get a certain politician or individual who is like, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter how bad the candidate is, their feeling is, I vote Republican or Democrat and only that and nothing else, no matter what. Now, I guess it's a little easier if you're just an average citizen or a voter like me. I've been known to vote both. I've voted Republican and Democrat in the best. Even though I'm a little more left-leaning or progressive, bottom line is I kind of look at the candidates and everything. But yet here with some of the other guests, I'm blanking on their names, you still have like Dan Crenshaw just trying to make excuses for Donald Trump. Talk about some of his accomplishments. I'd actually like to see that data. And I've mentioned in the past, there are certain things that Donald Trump has accomplished during his presidency back in 2016. It wasn't a absolute failure, but it was a failure regardless. And my feeling is this: as much as you can talk about certain accomplishments, it's all his other failures and his corruption that kind of cancels it all out. It's like saying, a person who does so many bad things, but yet he does one good thing, and you say, oh, look, he did a good thing. Duly noted. But that doesn't erase all the other mistakes and all the other corruption of his. The one thing I was surprised at, given Crenshaw, he's a former Navy SEAL, he's in the military, and, he got injured as a result of it, is that he still looks at January 6th and sees that as a peaceful transition. And then it's the usual whataboutism, with like Al Gore or Stacey Abrams. Yes, others have questioned election results. That's fine. If you want to do recounts, you want to do audits or request an audit or, request a court case because you think there might be something's not right or there might be an indication of voter fraud. Put it all on the table. But in the end, if it turns out you lose, you lose. Donald Trump has not conceded the election. When Biden beat him, fair and square, he lost. And he's never going to, because that's all part of his strategy to cast doubt. And Crenshaw knows this. But yet, why is he still backing this particular person? And this isn't just, like I said, not just a Republican thing. It's not just about Dan Crenshaw. I could name plenty of others. Everyone from, Ted Cruz to Lindsey Graham, to Mitch McConnell, and to Kevin, I'm blanking on his last name, the former Speaker of the House, who eventually got kicked out. I guess he didn't lick Donald Trump's boots enough. And yet now we have Crenshaw on, of all days, January 6th, which is a severe stain on our history and on our politics, yet he still wants to, make excuses for that. It's like he still wants to carry water for Donald Trump. It's like he's okay, along with the others, helping our country sink into fascism, as long as, he votes Republican. Donald Trump's on the ticket, so that's who he's going to support. No questions asked, and just carry water for him. And here's my thing. Crenshaw is not a stupid man, not like some of these other politicians, He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's talking about. To which it begs a simple question: where do you draw the line? At one point, do you stop saying, I'm a Republican, but I'm also an American, and that's what counts? At what point do you say, my party's important, but not if they're going to get behind someone who wants to be a dictator and pretty much overthrow the government, who doesn't have faith in our elections? Because in general, if you're making excuses for January 6th, what you're pretty much saying to me is you don't care about law and order, as long as it's serving your own or your party's personal interest. What you're pretty much saying is, I don't care about the Constitution. Yeah, I pledge towards it, but I'm willing to throw it away just for the sake of seeing my party win, even if it's somebody like Donald Trump on the ticket. What you're pretty much saying is, you don't care how bad the candidate is as long as you win. If the entire GOP, up to and especially including Crenshaw, was smart, come January 7th, they should have just said, we want Donald Trump out of the party for good. We denounce him. He's not going to be on the ticket, 4 years down the road, and we just want to wash our hands of him. Would it have been a smooth transition? No, it would have been a little rough. There would have been some adjusting to it. But at least then, collectively, you guys could have gotten rid of him. Instead, you did the opposite. Now, you're still making excuses for him to this day, even after his recent behavior and stuff. And it's like I explained to some of my MAGA friends, like, what is this? It's like, is there anything this guy can do which will make you look and say, no, that's not right. Okay, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not going to support him. But time and time again, to which, I would respectfully say to Crenshaw, if Donald Trump were to win and initiate Project 2024, yes, I know what you're going to say. He didn't write it. He, said he doesn't want to have anything to do with that, or he had nothing to do with it. Yeah, I'm sure you could take the word of a pathological liar. If you start to see all these bad things happen, you get to keep your job in Congress, but do you get to look in the mirror and think to yourself, was it worth it? Yeah, I got to keep my job. Yeah, I'm still in the GOP, but now Trump's in charge, doing all these terrible things, hurting our country, defying the Constitution and the rule of law, which he clearly doesn't care about, and, using his now, once again, presidential powers to go after his opponents and lock people up and do some pretty unconstitutional things. Do you get to look in the mirror then and say, oh yeah, it was worth it? Because I would imagine, I don't think it would be. Especially if you're somebody in the military who actually fought for country. I would think you would hold Trump and yourself to a higher standard and just say, no, enough's enough. I'm not going to get behind this person, okay? Yes, I'm a Republican, but I'm also an American first. America should be the goal. Patriotism and not fascism. And not just say, I only vote Republican and only Republican, or Democrat and only Democrat. At what point do you let go of the tribalism and just say, enough's enough already? Where do you draw the line? That is my question. So, sadly, I don't think we're going to get an answer because they've all pretty much conditioned themselves to just carrying water for Trump no matter what. So, in the end, it's going to be up to us, the voters, to make the choice for them and say, no, we're going to vote Trump out and put Kamala Harris in power. And to all the sycophants, Crenshaw, like Cruz, Lindsey Graham and everything, when the opportunity comes, we're going to vote you out. Plain and simple. Because again, if you can't be MAGA and support the American people, it doesn't work that way, because MAGA is not about patriotism. It's not about America. It is only about serving up to a dictator. It's only about serving up to Trump. So you got to ask yourself, what is more important? Not party, but Trump or country? There is no in between. There's no middle ground. So, myself and the majority of voters, we know what we have to do. I'm hoping, Crenshaw and some of the others will snap out of it, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, they've allowed this lunatic to, hijack their party. So now they're only looking out for themselves. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope you understand.